We are live. Hello and welcome to today's episode of For Evan's Sake Daily. My name is Neodate Evans.
And I'm Nana Evans.
And we bring you the news from a parenting perspective. On today's show, police defend increased presence in schools. Mm-hmm. Katie Price hits back at trolls and the BBC apologises for that YouTuber prank. And of course, we have our parenting conundrums.
Yeah.
So first, there has been a 43% year-on-year increase in the number, and they're called Safer Schools officers. And this is essentially police in schools, pardon me?
Yes. They have been in schools, I would say, probably about 10, 15 years. And it started off with like the worst schools in London. They would have an officer in.
Yeah.
And now to increase it out to kind of most schools with a heavily Black population as well. Yeah, that really doesn't sit well with me at all.
Well, it's almost like they're trying to get young Black people, getting them used to being police.
Yes,
and it's funny because they say here what they're actually trying to do is help young people feel safer in a school environment. And I'm like, well, what are the teachers doing?
Well, also, if you think of there was the child queue situation.
Yeah.
Again, that was, there's been two that were kind of preempted by the officer within the school that was stationed there. And then it got elevated to more officers coming into the school. Those children were not safe.
Well, and also we know, I mean, even just from yesterday's episode when we talked about just kind of like the bad breedness of the people in the police force. But we know that there is a tendency for young Black children, I can't remember the term, there's actually a term for it, where they are looked upon
adultification.
Adultification, there you go. And so to then have these police officers in school when we already know we have issues with our police force, it just feels like actually you're setting these kids up.
Yeah. And it's not okay to go to school and have to walk through metal detectors anyway. That is unsettling. But to also have police officers, like a rotation of them, stationed within your school, really we should be thinking about how do we keep our kids safe in school, and building massive schools where you have thousands of children in there at once probably isn't the best way to stop criminality.
Why have schools become so big like this now? Because
funding. It's all about money, because it's a business and you get paid per child. Is this
the whole academy thing?
Yeah, you get paid per child in your school. So the more kids you have in your school, the more money goes into that business, that academy, so to speak. So the incentive there to have more children in a school to run it has increased. And that's why, the classroom sizes, when we were in school, it was like 25.
Yeah.
And then got pushed up to 30 because they said there wasn't enough schools. Yeah. Now your school you need classes of 30 for the school to survive because of money.
It's interesting as well. I was just thinking about how when I was young, certainly, and I would say the generation before us, there was this thing of like where you were scared of the police. It's like, if you be naughty, the police are going to come, this, that, and the other. And I just thought that, and, it can be argued negatively and positively, but it creates that respect for authority. Okay. But if you have police in schools from an early age and children are interacting with them from a early age, it also kind of erases that kind of level of respect and the kind of the mystique about them thinking, if I don't want to, because you're dealing with it from an early age, and also you're probably dealing with people who maybe aren't even fully equipped to deal with you. So you get a negative view of these people from very early on. So by the time you become a teenager, like your experience with them is not going to be a good one.
It goes both ways, yeah. But definitely, I don't think it's a good thing to have police officers in schools. And that it's increasing, to me, that doesn't sound like, well, it's working either. Like,
no.
Because if you have to increase being policed in school, there's something going wrong with our education system that you need the police there.
Yeah. Again, it's like alarm bells. If we're doing this, that actually we've messed up big time in the first place.
Yeah, maybe the the institution that they're going to is wrong. Maybe we need to reconfigure that, not add in more police to keep people safe. It's like, actually, maybe we need to break it down and keep people safe.
But I guess if people's motives aren't necessarily what
it's got nothing to do with welfare. Yeah, it's all to do with money. Yeah, definitely. And that's a huge shame, because who's going to be running the country then?
Yeah.
Like, running industries, who's going to be working, who's going to be innovating? If we're not looking after our young minds and bringing them up properly,
well,
what do we go to?
Young minds are being looked after, not necessarily ours. Yeah. It's sad. I mean, I wonder, like, really thinking about it though, what power do parents have in this situation?
You pick your schools wisely. That's our power. And if your child is in a school that does get a police officer, I guess it is about, getting the parents together, trying to see if you can, overturn that decision that the school board has made. But generally, I think people shouldn't think it's okay to have a police officer in a school.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll see. Hopefully that this pattern doesn't continue.
Yes. Yeah.
Moving on, a little bit lighter. Katie Price, aka if you're of a particular vintage, you may refer to her as Jordan from time to time.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, I'd actually forgotten about Jordan. That is crazy. I'd forgotten.
You actually have to respect her in the sense that she really has created a new persona. Like we kind of still know her for those types of things. It's kind of there, but the whole Jordan
Katie
identity
Price was so firmly a brand in itself. I had forgotten about the previous brand of Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's been online again, and she's been responding to online trolls who have criticized her because of a video that she posted with her eldest son, Harvey, and they were sharing a bed. Now, Harvey is 20 years old, as we all know. He suffers from Prader-Willis syndrome. He has autism, and he's blind as well. And so not too long ago, he now kind of attends a boarding school.
Yeah, it's like a college.
Yeah, like a college. And, he was home from that. And in the college that he's at, they're not allowed to touch and hug and what have you. And he really kind of missed that from his mum. So they were in bed hugging, And, the mum crew came out and they were like, this is disgusting. What?
People like bullying her and Harvey, particularly their relationship. People like policing that with her. I have no understanding why, because that's her child. Yes, he's a big man, but that is still her child.
And also, on top of that, because of his conditions, he actually really needs touch. Yeah, more so than maybe most children as well. I say children, but also, she does have a habit of oversharing.
She does overshare. Because also, that whenever you generally share things with Harvey, people come after you. You get the racist trolls that come after her, and you get people
who disability trolls.
Exactly. So I do think, have these moments. Why is it that every moment has to be filmed and put on the internet for there to be a story of, oh my God, look, they're coming for me?
Yeah.
Like, just don't share it. You can have the, the memory. Yeah. Like, you actually don't need to share it. You can even film it and it stays on your phone.
You can film it. I mean, from time to time I share stuff online. I haven't really done it as much of late, but I've got way more videos on my phone. Yeah. Which are for me. Like, I just go through them and I'm like...
especially if you was uploading and every time you uploaded, you had a whole load of people, there'll be some nice ones, but loads of people being like, that's disgusting, you're a terrible parent. Really, this is like courting a bit of...
there's absolutely a level of courting,
Yeah, I think...
But also, this is her brand, I guess. You have to stay relevant. You have to stay in the papers. And,
It's just sad to stay relevant through hate and also just putting Harvey out there as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing where it's like,
Because really, for someone who's gone through all of the things that he's gone through, and then to have to do it publicly as well, like that is an extra strain that nobody really needs. But I also, whenever Katie comes up in the news and Harvey as well, I do get also really frustrated that it feels like Dwight York has really got off scot-free. Like he's just been able to really just leave his child.
Yeah.
And
him and millions others.
Yeah.
There's loads of them out there. It's not
but
just
that doesn't make it any more.
No, but it's not just him. Yeah, he has. But there are loads of other people that do exactly the same thing as he did, will just be like, didn't want that child and will not be involved in that child's life. And that's basically what he has done. What would be great is, I mean, I wonder if he was paying anyway, but was like, I'm not going to have a relationship, but he was still giving her money. I wonder if that was the situation. And if not, this passport thing that they're going to bring in where they can hold your passport if you're not paying child support would be a great one for all of the millions of people that just shirk their responsibilities. That
would definitely shake things up. That's definitely going to shake things up.
Because as a professional man, he was traveling around the place and he would have been curtailed. So
where is that? Is that definitely happening? Or?
I think it is. I don't know if the bill has gone through yet, but I think it probably will go through.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But anyway, so Katie, I mean, obviously the other nice thing she shared was that Harvey has a girlfriend. Which is really great. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice if he didn't have to be subjected to all of this
People
online
just
scrutiny.
got over it. It's like, yes, she had a black child. Yes. Like, just leave them alone, really. If you don't like her content as well, you can keep on scrolling, you can stop following, you can even block her, and you won't see it anymore. It's just that simple.
I was going to say it's too easy for some people.
No, folks do love a bit.
People love a bit of hate.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that the internet has shown us, is that people love hate.
Well, I guess it just shows how also there's so many people in pain.
Yeah.
Is why they will act out online. And that's a sad state of affairs, because if you're going to be online being a keyboard warrior, just leaving nasty messages on somebody's page, that really is an internal disgust that you have it within yourself. So,
hey ho.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers, as they do say. Moving on. So I love a good prank. And I say that in terms of like a traditional prank, not where the kind of pranking thing has gone these days. So for those of you who are, avid football followers, you will know that recently there was a match between Wolves and Liverpool. Gary Lineker was commentating, and there was a very particular sound
in the background
that went off in the background. Now, for those of you who are perhaps in a load of group chats and have that particular friend, and my friend knows who I'm talking about. Yes, Ricky. Who they get you with this sound. You think you're watching one video, and then all of a sudden you hear
that sound comes in.
That sound of pleasure.
And you hope that you don't have children around, or you're not at work.
Yes, absolutely. And so basically, this happened to Gary Lineker in front of the nation. Well, basically,
it was live, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was live. And so the prank was done by a YouTuber. His name is Daniel Jarvis. And I also afterwards went to go and watch the video of him live streaming the moment. So he's there. So he's there coordinating with whoever it is that he's got on the inside. If that person actually works there, I believe they're probably not going to have a job for much longer. So what they actually did was they got a phone. It was like an old brick phone.
Yeah.
And they've managed to tape it to the back of one of the chairs in the studio.
Maybe a cleaner.
Yeah, possibly. And so the ringtone of this phone is that sound. Is that sound. And so they're there really like waiting. If you actually get the chance to go and watch the video, maybe like put it in the comments as well. It's actually funny watching the video as well. Like funny and awkward and cringy watching them coordinate.
It's because they're big men really being very juvenile, and that's the thing where it is a bit like, oh my, it's really like now.
Yeah.
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Should we do it now? It's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Definitely give it a watch. But yeah, I think for me, I know this is probably going to sound like a little bit too much now, but I feel like that was like a bit of a cultural moment because that sound is known to so many people.
Yeah.
And then for somebody to get done like that on live TV, like, is it like that sound has solidified itself?
Ranking into another direction because you know there's going to be a whole load of people now that are going to be like, I've got to get my time, I've got to top that. So everybody in TV land beware because folks are going to be trying to do something. But yeah, no, I get what you mean about a cultural moment. It is. It's very British as well.
100%. 100%.
It's such a British thing to do. It's like Benny Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. So the BBC are now investigating.
Well,
you know,
hopefully whoever managed to get the phone by the chair just left on that same day.
Yeah, like that would be the smart thing to do. Is like, this is my last day. We'll do, you know, and then off you go. But yeah, no, I think that it brought a little bit of light to the news.
Yes.
I thought it was quite funny.
Yes,
it's quite funny.
It's nice to have some funny news.
We don't
have that too often.
We don't. Are you ready for a parenting conundrum?
Yes.
All right. So, oh dear. My roommate has a 3-year-old and she gives him no structure, which not only affects him, but me as well. He's not potty trained yet, which would normally be okay because he's a toddler, but she lets him run around with no diaper or underwear. So he has accidents on the floor, the couch, and other pieces of furniture. For example, I found feces on my bed the other day, and it was a brand new bed set. He whines and throws tantrums and rarely talks if he needs or wants something. She lets him sleep all day and stay up all night. I wake up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom and wake up again at work for 6, and he'll still be up playing by the time I come home around 3 or 4, and then he's still asleep. Now, he hits, he throws things, he dumps food and drink on the floor after being told not to, and overall, he's a handful. And she does this, and whenever the flatmate confronts her about it, she just kind of laughs and whatnot have you. So eventually, this woman, she plucks up the courage to say, look, man, what is going on? And then the mum just kind of went into poor me mode and why are you attacking me and you're saying that I'm a bad mom or anything like that. And she's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking like the child needs some structure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say she is and the reason why she is because she bottled out of the conversation. So when she was saying, I'm a bad mum and all of that, you should have been, yes, you are. Yes, you are. No,
but I get what you're saying.
No,
I get what you're
if
saying.
you are living somewhere and your child, number one, the sleeping patterns sounded horrendous. Yeah. But the point, if you don't have any shame when your child does a number 2 on somebody else's bed, and it goes on to say that the person themselves actually cleaned the sheets. So the mum didn't even clean the sheets. You're a bad parent.
I would say it's not as simple as that. The thing is, it's very easy to just be like those types of labels. You're bad. She's not coping.
She's not doing very well.
So that brings in shame, and shame actually just stifles people. It doesn't do what people think shame is going to do. It literally does the opposite.
I think it's important that the flatmate tells the mum where she's at, but is like, it doesn't also specifies, it doesn't have to be this. Like, change is always possible.
That's what I'm saying. Saying to somebody, her saying, I'm a bad parent, she's already feeling that.
Yeah.
So saying, no, you're not. You're just lacking structure and you're not coping as a parent. You're not bad. You're not coping. You're not doing what you should be doing for yourself and for your child. Because saying bad doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually help. So if you are going to have the conversation, you either tell her to move or you go into, okay, I have to deal with this situation because it's affecting me. How can the conversations that we have, how can I help? What do you need? Maybe, or maybe you point that out because some people get really lost. They don't even know where to begin to sort it out. But let's try and have a timetable. Maybe you need to go and see a doctor. Maybe you need to get your family involved to help you if there is somebody to help. all of these things, maybe you just need to get help with a nanny to come in and maybe provide a bit of structure, do the bedtime. That's why you have wet nurses. Like, there's
all of that sounds expensive as well, though.
Yeah,
She's a single mum.
There may not be money, but there may be money. You never know. Maybe that is something that she could get from somebody to help with just that cost. But if you're in a state of, I'm just going through the motions, and the motions are, I'm not going to do too much to parent this child, but just getting by, maybe you need somebody to just point out, why don't you try and add this? And one thing may help. Maybe there's somebody that can just help with potty training. That could be a neighbor. That's really good. Like, you just never know. But sometimes you need other eyes to help you with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's living with it. I would be like, I need to get this house in order for my own sanity as well. If you're going to live with somebody with a small child.
I mean, the mum is also lucky that the flatmate has actually put up with it for as long as she has, because that is something that not a lot of people would and shouldn't have to put up with.
It sounds hellish, but you know, three is often worse than twos, and people don't ever talk about that because they usually have a bit more strength and more vocabulary. And if you don't nip that stuff in the bud, you know, you see those kids that are in school and it's like they're feral. And then they're even bigger. And it's like, And then it's harder. The longer you leave that unruliness going on, it's like that becomes a part of their crazy nature, because it's just not being shaped. And sleep is fundamental to all humans, especially little ones. So that whole crazy sleeping pattern, that's not going to be great. To me, it just sounds like somebody that needs help. And, you know, as I always say, not everybody wants to step into that helping role. But if you don't, then you have to just move yourself, because there's no point in watching it and complaining. Like, that's the worst.
Well, thoughts and prayers to that mum. And to the flatmate.
And to the child.
Yeah, and to the child. And to the child. There you go. Well,
it's a hard one.
Yeah, not one that I want to be in.
Nope.
Well, that's us.
Yes.
That's another episode down. We're going through these, you know.
Our challenge is going really well.
Yeah.
Like, what, episode 13?
12, 13?
We're episode 13 now. So, yeah.
Yeah, 13. So, yeah. Amazing.
Stick with us. You know what to do, guys.
Yes.
Like this, please. Share it on all the socials that you have. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We need as many eyes on this as well. And go back and look at some of the old episodes as well. There's some great little talking points and conversations in there. And we love that you guys are getting more vocal in the comment section as well. The comment section is getting there. So we appreciate that. We appreciate that. So keep it coming. We appreciate all of the love and the support. Yes, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.